One thing that I think is very overlooked when it comes to upgrading your English as an advanced English speaker is learning more adjectives and learning how they're used in context in a native English conversation so that you can express yourself more clearly and more vividly in English. In today's lesson, I'm going to review some powerful adjectives that are used in everyday conversation. These aren't just adjectives that you would have to go search in the dictionary for. They're adjectives that you'll hear American English speakers speaking every day. There are some really powerful adjectives on this list, and I feel like if you choose at least a few from today's English lesson, they'll really help upgrade your English and they'll fit into your personal vocabulary because all of our vocabularies are reflective of our personality. So use these adjectives in your conversation. Let's get started. AWESOME. Awesome, awesome are we. There is my rhyme for you today. I'm a little embarrassed to say it, but this is how we spell awesome, and it's a spelling trick, obviously. You've probably heard the word awesome in English. You've probably already heard this word, but I'm reviewing it today because awesome is so powerful. It's so friendly and it's so commonly used in the English language. If you want to come off as a positive, happy, polite, welcoming person, try to integrate this adjective more into your English conversations and your English speech. So if someone does something for you, you'll say, oh, thanks, awesome. If somebody gives you exciting news, hey, I'm coming to your party on Friday. Awesome, I can't wait. This adjective is so versatile. It's used in so many different ways just to say that something is great, good, awesome. You might see a new movie and you might say that movie was awesome.
Awesome!
The next adjective, yes, you've probably heard in English said many, many times, but I'm highlighting it today because it's important to use it in your own vocabulary. It's so useful. The word is chill, and chill obviously means relaxed, easygoing. Usually in English, being chill is seen as a positive thing. You might introduce a new friend to your family or to your current group of friends, and they'll say, ah, she is just so chill and easy to hang out with. Or you can describe an event or a situation as being chill. My class is really chill. We don't have a lot of homework. Maybe you have a teacher that's chill. That's usually seen as a good thing.
Everybody chill!
The next adjective is quite the opposite from chill. The word is hyped. So it usually means enthusiastic or excited. I am so hyped up for the concert. I'm really hyped, okay? So this is an adjective. If you want to describe someone as being hyped, you can use the word hyper, but I will say it has a bit more of a negative context to it. If we say children are being hyper, it means usually they're being too active. They just can't stop moving and talking and being loud. So if you want to express enthusiasm or excitement, you can say we're really hyped or they're so hyped up. They're really hyped up for this game today. If you're talking about a sports team and they're very excited, the crowd is so hyped. But if you say they're really hyper, it just means probably they're moving around too much. So these adjectives, both very powerful, both very common, but they're used a bit differently. If you want to describe someone who's very knowledgeable and skilled, you can say they're savvy. We usually use this word savvy to describe a type of intelligence, a type of skill or knowledge that someone has. A really common example is if somebody is good with technology, they're good at figuring out things related to computers and just any sort of electrical technology, we say they are tech savvy. If you work with someone in a business and they're really good at marketing, you could say they're very marketing savvy. They're just knowledgeable in this area.
Savvy? Savvy.
Another adjective that you'll definitely hear in movies and television shows, and then also just in everyday life, is the word epic. Now, it might be surprising that this word is used in everyday life because it's very dramatic. It means that something is very memorable. Maybe you're talking with a friend about a trip you went on many years ago, and during that trip, you went on lots of hikes up beautiful mountains. You could say, oh, that trip was so epic. Or you could say the mountains on that trip were so epic. It just means incredible, memorable, very big. Or sometimes as Americans, we just speak very dramatically. You could say, oh, that meal was epic. Now, it might not be a meal that you remember for years to come, but maybe it was just very good. You were very hungry before the meal. So, this is how we use this word epic on a more daily basis. But overall, usually epic means memorable, big, incredible.
Epic?
You mean epic disaster.
The next adjective is very useful and it's a bit more informal, a bit more slang. If you meet someone and you like them, but you find them to be untrustworthy, you might say, I like them, but they're kind of sketchy. This just means, maybe they interact with people who aren't always honest. Maybe they're kind of a criminal, or just maybe you can't tell if they're always telling the truth about things. This is what we describe a person as sketchy. You can describe a business or a place as sketchy. You could say, oh, I really like that restaurant, but it's kind of sketchy because it doesn't seem that clean in there. So you don't really trust the cleanliness of the food. You're a bit worried that if the cleanliness is sketchy at a restaurant, you might get sick from eating there. One tip that I learned for seeing if restaurants are sketchy, if you look at the ceiling and you look at the vents and they look like they have never been cleaned, you might want to question how clean the actual kitchen is. Because if they're not taking time to clean things that are harder to reach, they also might not be taking time to be very detailed in their cleaning in the kitchen. That's unrelated to this word sketchy, but if you're trying to figure out if a restaurant is sketchy or not, just look around and see how clean, the tables, the bottom of the tables, things that you might not normally notice, but if you look at closely, they're sketchy. The restaurant might be sketchy.
You're kind of sketchy.
Here's another powerful adjective. If you want to say that something is very, very important, use the word crucial. It is crucial to get 8 hours of sleep before an important interview or before an important exam. Getting sleep is so crucial because it just is good for our overall health. It's good for our brain health and memory. So when you have big things to do the next day, it's crucial to get sleep. So this just means it's important. It's essential. If you miss out on it, it's going to have big consequences. You might just use crucial on a daily basis to say that something is important to you. You might say, getting exercise every day is crucial for my mental health. So that means in order to feel happy, in order to feel like my brain is working well, I need to get exercise. It's crucial.
Is it crucial?
A bit crucial.
Vivid. When you want to say that something is very clear and detailed, especially when we're talking about memories, we can describe it as vivid. If you remember something from your childhood that's very important or it makes you very happy, you could say, I have vivid memories of our happy family vacations. This just means you can remember them so well. And usually you can remember something well because it either impacted you positively or negatively. And this is when we use the word vivid.
Like really vivid things.
One adjective in English that I hear people using more often these days is the word relatable. Relatable just means you are able to relate to the person, and it's usually a very positive quality to call someone relatable. Oftentimes, when we have our favorite people online, our favorite influencers, or even our favorite celebrities, if we say they're relatable, it's seen as such a positive thing. When someone's unrelatable, it means, they're not in touch with reality. Maybe they're very rich and they don't know what it's like to struggle for money or to pay for things. So being relatable nowadays is seen as a very positive thing. One adjective that can be used to describe a very happy and charming person is to say that they are bubbly. When I think of a bubbly person, I typically think of the type of person that would be good at teaching young children, like a kindergarten teacher. They're very bubbly and happy and positive. The next adjective is also a slang word. It's short language. Instead of saying something is legitimate, like authentic or real, we often just say legit in English. And I would say a few years ago, maybe even more than a few years ago, this was used more to say that something was good. Oh, that's so legit. It's not used that commonly anymore in this context, but you might hear it once in a while. If you want to say that someone is just the best at their job, or they're actually good at doing something, or they can actually do something, you can say, oh yeah, he's legit. He's really good at his job. Or you might say, oh, that pizza place is so legit. The pizza tastes exactly like the pizza I had in Italy. So it just means it's real or very good.
You're legit!
Are you able to use this adjective in your daily conversations? The adjective is overwhelming. When you use the word overwhelming, it means things are too intense or there's too many things going on to focus on. Oftentimes, when you have many things going on in life, like school, work, kids, family, you know, lots of other responsibilities, you feel overwhelmed. If my house is dirty, I feel overwhelmed and I feel like I need to clean everything at the same time, when oftentimes it's just not possible. So when we use the adjective overwhelming, that was so overwhelming, it's seen as a negative way to describe something.
I'm absolutely overwhelmed.
One word that I love to say in English is stunning. If something is very beautiful, we describe it as stunning. Oftentimes, we describe women who are beautiful as stunning. And I love when British English speakers use this adjective because they say stunning, stunning. Now, maybe that's not my best British English impression. Bear with me here. But I do like using that word in American English, and I love the way that British English speakers use it because they tend to use it more frequently from what I've seen in movies and television shows. So if you see a beautiful sunset or a beautiful scenery outside, you can describe it as stunning. The sunset was stunning last night. You could also say her outfit is stunning. That just means beautiful and very attractive. Everyone's looking at the beautiful outfit if it's stunning.
Stunning. Stunning.
Do you know what it means when someone describes something as goofy? I use this word with my children all of the time. It's really common in American English, especially when we're talking with young children. We say, oh, you're so goofy. This just means silly and playful. So maybe a kid is making goofy faces. They're just being silly. They're not being very serious at all. Or if you want your children to stop being goofy, you'll say, hey, stop being so goofy. We have to be serious.
It looks kind of goofy.
Goofy.
Do you know someone that is clingy? This adjective, again, it's a bit more informal. It's used to say that someone clings to you. They're very attached to you. They need you in order to be existing. So you might describe an animal, a pet, as very clingy if they follow you around the house and they're very dependent on you. Or you could describe a child or a baby. Oh, my baby's so clingy, like she won't let anyone else hold her. This is just seen as not so serious. I mean, obviously kids need their parents, but if you want to say that one of your kids really does not like to be away from you, you could describe them as clingy. Or maybe you notice that somebody's girlfriend or boyfriend is always around. They never give them personal space or time away with their friends. You could say, she's really clingy, or he's so clingy. So it's definitely seen as more of a negative thing when someone is clingy. Do you have someone in your life that is trendy? This adjective means someone is always following fashion trends or things that are popular in culture. They're always knowing what's popular and they either have it or they're wearing it. So you might see someone wearing a pair of Nikes that are brand new and you've noticed a lot of people have those. You could say, oh, those are so trendy right now. Some people do not like to be trendy because they like to dress more classically. They don't want their clothing to go out of style or out of trend. If you want to say that something is following a trend, you could say it's very on trend right now.
Home birth. Very trendy.
Let's talk about what it means to be blunt. If someone is blunt, it can be seen as kind of a negative thing, like they are brutally blunt. This means they're just so honest about anything. They do not, hide their true emotions to, be polite or anything like that. Or you could say, could I be blunt right now? This means, can I be very honest without offending you? Sometimes people appreciate bluntness or honesty. Maybe you ask your friend, hey, how does my hair look today? And they say, not so good. It looks like you just got out of a big windstorm. You could say, well, that was really blunt, but thank you for being honest.
It's a blunt question.
I get asked a lot what it means to be cheesy in English. This adjective I find really hard to explain to English language learners. If someone is being really sentimental, like they're feeling a lot of things and they're, saying a lot of cliches, they are being cheesy. For instance, if, someone posts a picture of their girlfriend or their boyfriend online and they say, "Oh, they complete me." It's kind of cheesy because that line has been used so many times. It can be serious, it can be very nice and cheesy at the same time. Some people know they're being cheesy, but they don't care. They just are very sentimental and they have a lot of feelings. Gorgeous. If you need another word to describe something that's beautiful, you can say gorgeous. Now, another way that Americans use this word in their English conversations is kind of an informal, kind of dramatic way. When we say, something is just very good, we'll say, "Ah, gorgeous. Hey, I cleaned your house today. Ah, gorgeous. Thank you." You can describe anything really just beautiful or pleasing to your eyes as gorgeous. "Ah, this food is gorgeous. Your hair looks gorgeous today. That's gorgeous makeup."
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
One adjective that I really like to use that has a really nice meaning is when you say something is wholesome. If you say that something is wholesome, it means very pure, very good. Usually, when people like to spend lots of time with their family and do nice things, you can describe that as being very wholesome. Basically, when you describe people that have good hearts, they have good intentions, they're very helpful to people, you could say they're very wholesome. If you had a weekend spent with your family working on, maybe you guys did puzzles together, or maybe you did some baking together, you could say, "I had a really wholesome weekend with my family." It just means good, good hearted, and you didn't do anything that was, not considered to be morally good.
A safe, wholesome family environment.
A useful adjective that you can use is spontaneous. When you want to say that you did something without thinking about it for a long time, you can say it was spontaneous, or you could even say it was a spontaneous decision. Some people like being spontaneous, and other people do not like to be spontaneous. It just depends if you like to plan things a lot or if you like to be surprised and do things without thinking about it for a long time. Being spontaneous can be fun sometimes because you do activities that you might have not planned to do, but it is surprisingly fun or surprisingly good to get out and do something spontaneous. If you take a drive and then you end up driving further to go somewhere or to go see something, or maybe you're going driving a few hours to go see an old friend, but you weren't really planning on it, you could say it was kind of a spontaneous road trip.
Spontaneous.
Now, this next adjective you might use if you see something that's just really bold or really on trend. You say the word edgy. If something is edgy, it means it's kind of edging on breaking the rules or, being kind of bad. If someone wears, a leather jacket, lots of makeup, maybe they have black hair, and they just look, kind of mysterious, we might also describe them as edgy. If a movie is really non-traditional and, kind of has darker themes, we could say the movie was very edgy. So this adjective, it takes some getting used to. You have to practice using it, but it's really useful. And when you say it in conversations with American English speakers, we know exactly what you mean.
That's edgy.
Another kind of complicated but very useful adjective is the word quirky. If you describe someone as quirky, it means they're kind of unusual, but you like them. The ultimate quirky person is Jess from New Girl. If you've ever watched this show, this girl you would describe as quirky. The way she dresses is, kind of unusual, but we like it. It's a nice style. She's very quirky. Or back when people, would decorate with, pictures of mustaches, it was considered very quirky. It's kind of unusual, but it's endearing. We like it. Finally, if you want to describe someone as very trustworthy, very dependable, use the adjective reliable. When you describe someone as reliable, it's a very positive way to describe them. It's a very good adjective to use. If you have a reliable car, congratulations, that's good. It means it doesn't break down or have any mechanical problems. You can pretty much always rely on it to get you to your destination. If you have a reliable friend, it means whenever you have a situation where you need help or you're in trouble, you can depend on that friend to come help you. They're very reliable. They never are late. They don't miss their appointments. Again, it's a very positive thing.
Not reliable.
Thank you so much for watching this lesson with me. I'm really proud of you for learning all these new adjectives that will help you, again, just upgrade your English to sound more like a native speaker and just to express yourself more confidently. Again, if you guys want to visit englishwithkayla.com, you can check out my English course there, and I'll post 2 videos on screen that will teach you even more adjectives and phrases to update your daily English. All right, I'll see you guys in the next lesson, and thanks again for watching. Goodbye.